truth.
Welcome to Drop Me Off in Nashville with Sebastian Roberts and Scott Hugo.
Hey, welcome to the little show that could, and in fact, it still does. I'm Sebastian Roberts, and I'm along with Scotty Hooger, my dear friend of more than 20 years.
Hi,
Scotty,
everybody.
what's going on? Yeah, you've been bugging me for a long time.
All week long.
All freaking week. You tell me
how much you love me.
If I love you a lot. Now listen. Now they need to know that you have been playing this on me for a week.
Well, it's good for you.
He tells me he's got a surprise.
Puts hair in
Usually
your
we
chest.
can't keep secrets from each other, but he did. He told me about this special guest, and I don't know what's going on, but apparently I'm being set up.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Ready. Let's do this. It's showtime. Please pay attention. Stop what you're doing and welcome our guest.
Well, hello. How are you, sir?
Get out of frickin' town.
I told you.
Are you shitting me right now? What the hell?
Mr. Randy.
Oh, God, Randy, what the heck is going on, man? What, really?
I'm surprised you are. I know you'd be here.
What on God's green earth? What are you doing, man? Where you been? What the hell?
Down here having a good time, checking out some clubs and bars and just enjoying.
We call him Mr. Honky Tonk.
He is Mr. Honky, yeah.
He likes it so much he put a bar in his hometown called The Tonk. The Tonk in Oklahoma.
Really?
I'm telling you, this bar is so cool. And he's doing the same thing in Florida. He just bought something down by Clearwater and St. John's Pass. And what is it, Reddington Beach, Randy?
Yeah, Reddington Beach.
Ooh, Reddington, nice.
It's gonna be Nashville in
Right
Florida.
across the road from the beach, and it's going to look just like Music City.
I'm going to have to go there.
Gosh, I'm so excited.
I'm going to have to go on a freaking Uber.
We're gonna have to take an Uber, or we'll get a limo.
Oh, limo.
Let's get or take the bus.
Take the bus.
We'll take Randy's bus.
All right.
Oh, we can do that.
No, you. Well, God, Randy, man, what's been going on? What the heck?
I've been staying busy, especially, last couple of years I've been really busy doing different things, investing in bars and clubs and artists and buying and selling and looking for houses and just staying busy.
I gotta tell you something about this guy. He's never gonna tell you, but Bash, you already know because I've told you 1,000 times about Randy.
Right.
This guy, you guys, listen to me. He's one of the nicest human beings in the world. He'll give the shirt off the back to anybody. And the sickest thing about it is a lot of people is taking advantage of his kindness. And that's the thing that just sucks. But at the same time, it doesn't ever let him get him down. He just does it over again and he helps somebody else. And he's one of the sweetest, one of the nicest, and one of the best friends that a guy could ever ask for. And Randy, thank you for showing up today. I know this is taken away from family time, but I really appreciate it.
And I'm kind of crazy, too, because I always take them back.
Well, hey, you know what?
People
that's
make
love.
mistakes, and I've made millions of them. Make some today, make some tomorrow, make some next week. And
now you're jacking off a dead man. I made more mistakes than that. I mean, for really, right?
But this is what's important about today. Drop Me Off in Nashville is the name of our show.
Right.
And when you get to Nashville, there's just things that happen. Some people can do it on their own. Some people are in the right place at the right time, and some people need help. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's what a music investor is. And that's what Randy is. He is a music investor, and he has certain qualities. He has certain expectations. And those are the things I want to talk about today. And Bash, you had a music investor back in Minnesota.
Yeah, well, yes, I did. Yeah.
And he put $250,000 into you? $500,000? What was it?
Well, I matched him. So and believe me, y'all, I believe this when it comes to an investor. If you can't expect somebody to invest in you if you're not willing to invest in yourself.
Amen.
I just believe that.
Amen.
So
it won't work otherwise.
When my investor came in, he caught a show I did through a friend of mine, Liquid, right?
Yeah.
And he approached me and asked me what it would take to cut a record. And I said, I don't know. I've never done it. I can cut one in the basement. That's
call
really
Scott.
all I can do, And so that's when we started fishing the record. And we came up with all these numbers. And believe me, you guys, when I tell you, it's expensive.
It's expensive.
Man. I mean, I put $40,000 in the first record.
Right.
Or in the second record, sorry. And that was just the first trip down to cut.
Right.
And so, I don't know if I should really go into numbers, actually.
No, let's see if we could just say roughly. Just so they kind of have an idea, because remember, that was 10 years ago and things have changed. They might be more expensive. And the last thing we want is somebody to go, well, I heard on the podcast that it's this.
Well, yeah. So I don't know what it's going to take right now, but I can tell you I personally have upwards of $350,000 in my career.
Right. And the thing that I liked about when you called me, you said you're an investor, you said he wrote the check, but I'm going to work harder than he's ever worked in a day in his life. And I know this guy's rich, but he goes, I'm never going to let him down. I said, John, if you never let that guy down, you have the best investor and the best partnership you could ever get into, because he knew that he put his money in the right place. That's what was cool.
And that, I'm curious about something, Randy. Do you mind if I ask?
Please.
I got to ask, because I just happened to cross an investor. And so when you invest in a singer, a talent, is it because you found him when you were honky-tonking and you saw something in him that you liked? Or did they approach you and say, hey, I heard, do you expect artists to approach you about these things, or do you look for them?
Well, it's coming in every single direction. And you can ask any artist. I feel bad for these guys down on Broadway. These guys in there playing their songs. You got some drunk guy in the crowd that may be a real estate agent from Detroit, or he may be this, he may be a banker from San Antonio. He'll go up to these people and he'll promise them the world. Hey, here's my card. Call me tomorrow morning. I'm going to invest. You want to do this? I'm going to do that. And then they lie to him.
Yep.
When I go up to somebody, I say, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do every single thing I said I'm going to do.
Amen. And that's the truth.
Even if once it's done, I'm not even talking to him anymore. I will still finish whatever I said. And I've never had a contract with anybody. Never. Well, I have had one contract, and that went south. But I only had one contract my whole time. And when I just believe in somebody, I just believe in them. I believe in 100% of my heart. And if they screw me over, well, it's their problem, not mine. So I'll go on down the road. I'll keep making money. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and it don't matter.
Right. Wow. You see, because I never caught it from the investor side. He just showed up. When I went to Hollywood, he went to Hollywood.
Right.
From Cebu, from the Philippines.
Well, think about it. You walked into that hotel to pay Ollie.
Yes.
Cash.
Yes.
Cash.
Yes.
Yeah, not a check. Here's cash, and we're going to take care of this today.
That's correct.
And we're going to do it the right way, and this is happening.
Absolutely.
And it meant something to Ollie, I think, because he was like, this guy's serious.
Well, yeah, that or I was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't kill people who sell drugs anymore, seriously.
You know the thing about Randy, though, Randy, when you started investing in somebody, do you sit them down? Do you put them through the ringer? Are you like, listen, asshole, we're going to do it this way? Or you go like, here's the journey, let's get started?
Every single time this happens, the people I invested in, one of the guys invested in, put a lot of money into him, had a lot of faith in him. And actually, I quit dealing with him because his mother, he had a mom wanted to be a manager.
Oh, dear.
We'd head to the studio and we'd be ready to leave. And next thing I know, her suitcase in the back seat, like, what are you doing? We're going with you. And so I always tell them how it is. Like, and every artist I've ever brought to Nashville, I do the same thing every single time. I take them to a vocal coach, Judy Rodman. Every single person I've ever dealt with is
wonderful
Judy.
Woman.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the best in town. And she works with them. I take them to do media training. Take them to a publicist. We do every single thing the way you're supposed to do it.
Right.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And it's always, I've always worked harder than the artist. And it should be the other way around. Just like we talked about earlier. Just like what you said, this investor gave your money. I'm going to work my ass off this guy. Well, I not only you do that. I know one other person that does that, but most people don't do that. The investor works harder, and that's the worst part.
Wow.
It's almost like the investor wants it more than the artist at that point. And I think you don't realize, artist, Mr. Artist person, you have a gift. This is a gift. You couldn't go out and find this if you wanted to. This is a gift. Do everything you can to take care of that gift.
I mean, I got in a flipping Winnebago and did a radio tour.
Did we call it the cuckoo box because it was
No. That's the one I was living in when I was getting divorced.
Yeah, sorry.
That's a whole different. The cuckoo box. Listen, that's a different episode right there. But no, the Shaggin' Wagon. No, that's your minivan. The Shaggin' Wagon.
Too many monikers.
What did we call that thing anyway? The tour bus. The Bus-a-Bagel.
Bus-a-Bagel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we plastered your name over the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
You ordered 3,000 hot dogs.
The investor.
Yeah.
He wrapped the bus in the Unwanted Man record, and there was a big picture of me on the side of it in this chitty chitty bang bang looking thing. And you should have seen that thing in Hollywood in front of the Whiskey.
Oh, they're probably going crazy.
For 3 days.
Yeah, that's when TMZ showed. I remember pictures
TMZ was all over the place. That was really funny. But that was and we talked about it in the last episode. That's giving up the comforts for your passion. You know what I mean? You're
not going on a tour bus.
No, I drove the thing every mile because
you're eating hot dogs and ramen. And be thankful that you get to do that. Because somebody's putting gas in your tank for you.
I haven't had a hot dog since.
Yeah, well, and somebody's putting gas in it for you.
150 bags of Doritos.
Yeah.
I mean, it was...
Ran from a tornado?
Oh yeah, we just beat that one. That real bad one that tore up and killed a lot of people.
I don't remember what city
in
we
the South.
were in.
Oh
No,
my
sorry,
God,
go ahead.
man, we were right in front of that thing. We made it
Anyway.
to Nashville in time. I think that's when little Jimmy passed away.
Yeah, sad.
Or
little
Mel.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
little another talent. So, Randy, do you really have like an aha moment when you like? Are you have 6 ways to the sun when you see these people singing, or you walk in, you're like, "Whoa, what the heck is going on right here?" I mean,
most time when I see them, I'm usually drinking. I'm honky tonking, having a good time. But I always go back if I see somebody I really like. I think, how good were they really? So I go back the next day and listen again.
Yeah.
And then that's when I approach them or they approach me, and that's usually how it works out. And the one thing about Nashville, you see the America's Got Talent, you see The Voice. I mean, those are a joke. The real
100%.
100%. The real talent is the raw talent you'll find right there on Broadway. There's more stars on Broadway than you'll ever put on either one of those TV shows.
Amen.
And that's where the people are at.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. How many different shows, reality shows, have been on the air over the last 20 years? Let's just guess. I mean, I'm just making up numbers. Let's just say it's been on the air 50 times. Maybe it's been 100. How many of those 50 winners are big stars today?
Well, Nashville Star actually made stars.
Remember when it first started?
Yeah, you got Carrie Underwood,
Miranda Lambert.
There's not been a star.
Sean Mayer.
There's not been a star from The Voice.
No.
Nobody's become a star from The Voice. Nobody's America's Got Talent. To me, that's a joke. That's more like a state fair or like a talent contest.
Right.
And I think they're more worried about the celebrity guests that they have promoting them than they do the artist. Myself.
Nobody else will watch it. I mean,
It's
a joke. I mean, and those shows you go to them, the stories that they tell is not true.
Right.
They're
all fabricated.
They script your life. That's who wants to hear that?
Right. You had a couple artists, right? On them shows?
One guy working at Dawson Slade, he's 18 years old. He got signed to Warner Chappell at 18 years old. He's been on America's Got Talent twice, and they made him lie. Said he worked here, said he worked there. I mean, it's a joke. The best music singer you'll ever see, and you'll never see him on TV, is right there on Broadway in them stages. They're the
That's
best guys
true story.
in the world.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, that's the best in the world you'll ever find.
They care about their craft. They're singing for tips.
And it was the funnest place I ever sang in my life.
These guys are down there and gals are down there to pay their rent.
Right.
They're there to sing. They show up. It's their job to sell beer, work on their vocal, their craft, learn how to hold an audience in their hand, and pay their rent.
And and it's their livelihood, because there's a girl that she was signed with Curb Records originally, and her manager would come to me and says, "Is there any way that you can help me out?" I said, "What do you need?" He goes, "CMA Fest is coming up tomorrow." He says, "I got this little girl. She's 17 years old. I need her on stage somewhere." So I call a good friend of mine, Greg Humphreys. I said,
Yeah.
"Greg," and I remember Greg.
Rest in peace.
Oh, Greg's one of the best. And I
Rest in
said,
peace.
"Greg," he said, "Man," he goes, "I ain't got room for you." He goes, "This has been booked for months and months." I said, "Man, I just need a favor." And I said, "I don't need one. I need two." He said, "What do you mean you need two?" He said, Well, this little girl sings. I introduced this guy. Now as her boyfriend, I sing both of them on stage. He says, "You want both of them on stage? Let me see what I can do." Okay. Have me be tomorrow between. It was a six. Actually, he got them on the 6 and 10. Today, they're both still there. They're making 6 figures.
Holy
And
smokes.
they're getting their base pay and their tips. They're successful. They got 2 kids, making a living. Brand new home. They just bought a brand new home last month.
Isn't that nice?
They're making a living on Broadway.
That's Collier.
That's how you do it.
Scott Collier is one of the best. I
He's
met
one of the
Scott
best.
Collier back in it was 1999. He come to town. I seen him the first time he come to town. Next time he come to town, he was gone. I come back to town. He's back in town.
Yeah.
And he went home, gave up, come back, and he's been there ever since. He's been there 28 years.
He's been there a long
25
time.
years. Yeah, 25 years. Him and John Stone another person. The first person I ever met was, and I'm still dealing with him today. I work with him every single day, talk to him every day. Is Glenn Templeton.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
The first time I seen Glenn was on stage. at
Great
Tootsie's.
talent. Oh,
And the first tour bus he ever rode on was mine.
was your bus?
It was my mom's birthday.
Oh.
And so I took Conway Twitty's grandson, Trey Twitty, which was actually it's Michael's son. I took him, Glenn Templeton, and the rest of the band out to my mom's birthday and brought them back.
Oh,
And
man.
actually, this is very
wonderful.
interesting too. Conway Twitty, his first son Michael, is actually my cousin. He was married to my dad's cousin.
Really?
Yeah, they're in Arkansas.
I think he's working with Taylor Lynn right now, and
Yeah.
they're doing the Twitty and Lynn show.
Very
it's
successful.
Good. It's very good.
Wow.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Loretta's granddaughter. She's paying homage to her grandma.
Gosh, I love that.
They're booking Canada. They're booking everywhere.
And
making
it's
money.
good. It's super good.
Dang.
I'm really happy for him. I mean, it's so fantastic to see because, I mean, look at Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. Talk about two
dear
giants.
God. Wow.
Giants,
Yeah, right.
right?
But yeah, Broadway, man. That's the best time I've ever had in the music business, really.
Right.
When it's raw like that.
Right.
You know, when you're walking into a club and Collier, he'd be on stage at Tootsie's and I'd walk in the door with Scotty and he just lit up. And he's like, "That's it. You come on." And he had me doing this damn Neil Diamond, man. And y'all, I used to sing this Neil Diamond song, and I didn't know that the whole crowd went bum bum bum, and it scared the shit out of me. So, I pulled a Collier and I jumped up on the bar and I'm singing this thing. And who was playing the fiddle? She did so good.
Steffi Gherkin.
Steffi. Oh, she was
Stephanie
awesome.
Gherkin from Minnesota. Not Minnesota.
Yeah, if you could picture Neil Diamond with fiddle and a country band, it was just on fire, man. And the crowd went, bah, bah. I almost fell on my ass on that thing.
Right.
I didn't know they did that. And so good, so good. I'm like, oh, dear God, it's just Sweet Caroline, man. Calm down.
I want to change gears for just a second. Let's go back to the studio. John, remember when you were in the studio, and Randy, this is kind of the same thing for you, but remember when you said there's things, Mr. Investor Guy, that I don't like and I need to have them fixed and it's going to cost money. But
Yes.
your investor can't hear what you're hearing.
No.
So to his ear, oh, it sounds great. What are you looking for? But in your ear, you're going, it's not right. I got to fix it. How do you sell that to an investor? And to Randy, how do you listen to that and go, I have to trust my artist by saying that there is something wrong here that's not fitting and we have to go back and fix it, even though to my ear, it sounds right.
Well, in my case, I had two fixes that I wanted to make. One was on the Elton John track. I did a cover of Elton John, and it was at 1 minute and 53 seconds. I knew right exactly where the hiccup was. And the other one was, I can't remember the name of the song right now, A Faith I Have in You. And I knew right where that time mark was. And when my investor came by the house, he's usually in Cebu, he's in the Philippines, so he just happened to be stateside right then. And he came by, he wanted to hear the record, and I had copies for him. And I said, listen to this. And I played it, and he goes, well, what? And I said, well, there's a hiccup right there. There's a blip in the recording on a certain track, and I don't know what track it is. So I played the whole thing for him, like a 10-second clip. And he acted like he heard it.
He did.
He didn't hear that. Of course he didn't.
No, he didn't.
And
but how do you sell it? Listen, I got to go back and fix this. What do you say to him?
My investor, really, he's not even a music fan. He likes the fame idea.
Sure.
But he's not a fan of music.
Country music or all music?
Any music.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's kind of a karate guy.
Sure.
Very zen,
That's
very
his release.
focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really an interesting.
Mine's music, man. I
me
got it
too,
here.
but he said, well, what do you got to have?
Yeah.
And you and I had talked already about cutting He Lied. And so I said, well, if we do He Lied and I do those fixes, we're going to be back in it for
the song you wrote, He Lied. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this X amount. So he said yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Randy, here's Mr. Artist Guy. I need another $40,000. I know we just spent 40, but I need another 40,000. What do you say? Do you be like, sure? Do you trust in your artist, or do you go, this is horseshit?
No, I always find something wrong with something. I'll listen to it. Either the voice is in the music or it's on top of the music. So I always say something. I actually want to go back and fix. I want it perfect. The guy I'm working with right now, everything has to be perfect. So I trust him 1,000%. He listens to everything, writes his own songs.
Is that Clay?
That's Clay. He's good at everything.
Clay Airy, you guys. I don't mean to interrupt, Randy. I have to. This guy's from Oklahoma. He was stayed at Randy's house in Nashville, and I happened to be there. And a couple times I was sleeping at Randy's, I'd wake up and this guy's singing in the shower, and not some karaoke song or some cover song. He's singing his songs. He's practicing his songs. He's in the shower singing his vocal on his tracks, the ones that he wants to learn. And I'm sitting back in my chair thinking, this kid gets it.
He's in the shower singing, get a text from Scott, and he goes, this kid's got it. This kid's
Yeah, because I never heard that before.
No.
I don't hear that. You hear, you're singing along with the radio, or you're copying some guy that's already sold 1 million tracks, and you're trying to copy his vocal.
Sure.
This guy's in there practicing his songs that he's going to sell.
Yeah.
And I'm going to Randy because I know Randy's investing, but you picked right. Clay's got to figure it out. And he's not going to stop until he gets this right, because he's practicing in the shower right now, for God's sakes. And it sounded great.
Yeah.
I literally thought the radio was on.
There's a really good sound in the shower.
There's a good sound in the shower. I learned that.
Yeah, there really is. I
know, like commercial bathrooms, you get it, but I didn't know in certain homes you can get that same quality of sound.
And one thing about Clay, I think, I wish I met him 10 years ago.
Yes.
But even today, I think at the right time, the right place, Cody Johnson needs to watch out.
Yeah.
He needs to run for his money, because
He's
he's so damn good. He's so talented. He writes his own songs. He looks good. People love him. Got charisma.
He's got charisma. That's crazy. The girls love him.
What's amazing is you walk in the bar and like nobody pays attention to him. So we walk in the bar, he's got a little cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
And
skinny. He's still tiny.
Yeah, tiny little guy. So he gets up on stage and he sings, and here these women come. They come here, and not only the women, the guys are coming. The women up there wanting phone numbers, patting them on the back. Guys up, man, hey, you're a hell of a singer. I mean,
that's 18 to 65.
That's the it factor.
That's what I was talking about.
That is the guy.
You know, when we talk about the it factor, y'all, that when if you've listened to the other episodes, and if you haven't, the it factor is something you just can't teach. We're going to get into that just in a little bit here. Let's take a break, a little short one, and we'll be right back with you.
Here we go.
Podcasters, it's time to level up your sound. Don't let your show get lost in the noise. You need exciting intros, powerful outros, and smooth transitions that keep your listeners hooked. That's where podcast production music comes in. From polished production elements to custom sound design, Mark Maynor is your audio production professional, delivering broadcast quality results every time. Call Mark at 727-609-7366 or visit podcastproductionmusic.com. That's podcastproductionmusic.com, and bring your podcast to life. Sound Pro, stand out. Podcast production music.
Hey everybody, Willie here. I just ran into Sebastian and Scott over at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. So let's raise them up and have a drink. It's a holler and a swaller. Beer.
1, 2, 3, holler! Now 12.
He wants to set it up just like Music City Bar and Grill in Nashville. You'll come in. Yeah, the stage, he wants to do the outside, the same color, all the same photos. I mean, it's going to be Music City Bar on the beach.
Well, then, you know, you have to have a little stool for little Jimmy in there, just as a memorial.
And it will.
Hey, guys, we're back live.
Oh, we're
what
live
are you guys
again?
talking about? You're talking about
God,
this
I'm
Music
really
City,
sorry, y'all.
Music City Bar in Florida? Are you kidding me?
No, we're not. No, he's not
Randy,
kidding
this
at
is
all.
what you're part of, right? With Rodney?
Yeah, I'm partners with Rodney on that. Anybody knows Music City Bar and Grill is one of the, to me, he's one of the best bars in Nashville.
Me too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tootsie's is always my favorite, but Tootsie's got so commercial, I can't
so
get
commercial.
in.
Yeah.
I can't get in, I can't get down, and I don't know who the singers are anymore.
No, me either.
There's so many different people.
And this with the phone.
Yeah, they got the phone up there, and then you got Scott Collier's one of my favorite artists. That's
Me
what
too.
brought me back to Nashville. First time I come to Nashville, I think it was 98, it was 99. And I came back just to see. I text Scott and I said, when are you playing? I just tell my wife, I'm going to the auction in the middle of Odessa. I'd get in that car and I'd be eastbound to hammer down the Tootsies.
Just to see Scott.
Just to see Scott Carter. And now he plays over at the Honky Tonk and plays rock songs.
At the Kid Rocks.
So now he used to have 450 songs in his head. Now he's got probably 2,000.
Listen to this. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but let me interject. I remember Collier said this to me one time, and I'll never forget it. We had some meeting. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But we were supposed to go there the next morning, and he couldn't make it. He was just exhausted. And I went to his house, and I knocked on the door, went in, and he looked at me dead in the eye, and I knew he was 100% telling me the truth. He goes, "I can't put another song in my head. It's full.
Yep.
I can't do it."
I totally understand that.
And I right there and then I thought, I just learned a huge, huge lesson today. This guy's down there as a human jukebox every single night of the week, singing his hind end off, making a living, taking care of his family.
Taking requests for God knows
the
what.
next day in the morning, he has to get up and try to learn something new. It's like, how do you program that in you almost need like a drain button. Drain a bunch of stuff out of your brain so you can put some new stuff in there. I mean,
but you've never seen Collier with a phone on stage.
Never.
Not once.
Well, only if it's a song he doesn't know. And he's like, I'm going to make your experience in Nashville good. I'll figure it out. And they figure it out.
Yeah, he'll figure it out. Yeah.
And then the phone goes right back where it belongs.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's funny you say that, Randy, about going to see Scott, because I would plan my days just to see him.
I play my vacations around Scott Carter all the time. You playing this week? Terry Joe, Tony Stampley's sister, Terry Joe. If
sweetheart.
Scott wouldn't get back a hold of me, I'd text her, "Hey, do you know what a schedule is?" And one time I told Scott, I said, "Man, I've been trying to get hold of you for a week." He goes, "Let me give you my mom's number." So I texted his mom. I said, "What is Scott?" "Well, he's playing Thursday and Friday." I said, "All right, tell him I'll be there." So I would plan my vacations and trips. I'd make up excuse to leave town, just go listen to Scott.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was so damn good, and he's still so damn good.
Anytime I've been to Nashville,
he's great.
Recording, cutting, staying, partying, anything. If he wasn't singing, we were at his house.
Yeah.
And
it's funny. The last time I was there, I stopped. He's playing some 2 to 6 shift, and it's a Monday. It's packed.
Packed.
Monday.
Yeah,
like a Saturday night in there.
Solid.
I walk in, he goes, hey, everybody, my best friend just walked in the bar. He goes, he just got him out of jail last night, and the whole place goes, whoop, looks at me, and I've never been a cigarette in my life. I've never been in trouble in my life.
Well,
and now I got the spotlight on me. I'm like, you ass.
He always says, "Here's my brother." My brother just walked in. I'm like, "Well, how many brothers does he have?" But, there's a difference between a singer and an entertainer.
Right.
Scott Collier's an entertainer. He'll take the drape off somebody's shoulder and put it on. He'll take their jacket, he'll take their hat. I mean, he's got everybody's attention in the whole bar. Every single body's attention.
Every time.
That's the it factor.
I want to know, Music Row. I'm really close to the microphone. I want to know why he's not signed. He's an incredible artist.
That is the dumbest thing.
They should have signed him and put him on the road and give him the songs he needed, because that man works. That man would have held any crowd, and he would have sold records.
Oh, yeah.
Like you read about.
Yep.
He has it. He has what you have, John. He has that
the
it factor.
You can't
You
teach
can't make
that
it. You
shit.
can't teach it. You either have it or you don't.
I told a lot of people, you can sing like a canary. You're really something, and you've got some charisma and energy on stage. The it factor is not that. The it factor is a magnet that I don't even know how to describe it, but I can tell you sure the hell can't teach it.
Yeah.
You can't. And I wish I could, because there's some singers that I've met that are really dynamic, fantastic vocalists, and they're really good in the studio. But you get them out front, man.
Crack.
Remember the girl I did Dress for the Rain with in Minnesota?
Yep. Crack.
Great singer.
Yep.
Fantastic. Shania Twain her butt off.
Right.
But you get her with an original song on the stage, she
can't
that's
do
it.
No, she can't do it.
She looks fantastic. She can sing her butt off in a studio, but you get her out live now.
I got a question for both of you guys. What's the music industry like today, John?
Oh.
Is it different from 10
You want to
years ago?
start? You want me to
Just a
start?
blurb, because I'm going to ask Randy next as an investor's point of view. As an artist's point of view, what's the music industry like today?
It's too cookie cutter for me.
Too cookie cutter.
I turn
Randy,
on the radio, I hear the same shit.
What about you, Randy? What do you think?
I think it's a shit show. And the reason I say that is, here's the weirdest thing about Nashville is you have a person that can sing and they can't find an investor. And then you have a person that can't sing and somebody's bringing them money. Like the biggest waste of money I've ever seen in my life. And then, kind of like TikTok. The labels now, all they care about is numbers. They don't care about music, kind of like the Grand Ole Opry. Grand Ole Opry don't care about music anymore. They care about who's popular, who's going to sell their $175 tickets. That's all they care about. I like the roots of country music, the real stuff. TikTok, they'll find somebody popular, and then they'll ask them to sing. And that's the worst part. They're bringing these TikTok guys on that can't even sing a lick, and because they got 100 million followers or 10,000 followers, what they bring them on to sell these tickets, and the guys can't sing. It's Nashville today.
It's embarrassing.
It's a joke. I mean, talent has nothing to do with it anymore.
Right.
You know what I wonder? And I'm not going to say names, but I know some executives high up at Sony, Warner Brothers, some of the best who's worked with some of the very, very best. They retired. All of them. I don't know if they were forced out. I doubt it, because they're so stinking talented, but they're all gone.
They're probably disgusted. I mean, what's
they're
going on
probably
today? Country
disgusted.
music. Yeah, they're sick of it.
You get artists now, and you've been in the studio with me, Scotty. When I cut a track, and I'm not tooting a horn or anything, but when you hear a producer tell you over the talk back, hey, that's it, we got it in one take. You've done something. And the problem I see with music right now is when the cats get in the studio, male, female, I don't care who they are. I don't care if they can do backflips on a stage. If you have to go back and fix and fly things around in Pro Tools and back up 5 mils for this and fly an S from over here, those of you in music understand what I'm talking about. If you don't know, you can fix anybody that sings off key. So now when you listen to something on the radio and you think, wow, that person has a really great voice, you're going to hear them live and go, what the hell did I just buy?
They can't fix them live. That's the biggest problem is you hear them on the radio, man, these people sound so good, and then you go listen to them live, like, what happened?
Yeah,
what happened? Take Clay Airy. Clay Airy don't have auto tuners. He don't have mics in his ears. He's not doing that. He's walking out like Merle Haggard.
Yeah,
he's like capturing the crowd because he's good, raw, and that's what I believe in country. Somebody that can go out there and do something. You don't need auto tuners. You take. Well, I'm going to mention the name. The husband and wife. They do a duo. They sing on the radio, but they do the live shows.
Right.
Especially the ACMs or something like that. They can't sing. They're horrible. They're horrible.
What happened?
What happened is technology, right? And we're going to get into that in another episode when we start talking about AI and all this nonsense going on.
Right.
But it's almost as if they don't really have to have the talent anymore. Like you said, Randy, all they have to have is the freaking numbers. And that's what they're doing. It's a popularity contest. It's not about
I'm going to tell you right
anymore.
now, you don't need, I'm not a songwriter. I could dabble in it, decent at it. I can get a line or two. I need another songwriter to help me. But I'm telling you what, you mentioned AI. AI will do everything for you today. It'll write a song for you.
Oh, yeah.
I've shown it both of you guys how it works. It's going to take over. There's no way around it. It's going to happen. It's just like when Google came out. Everybody's like, what's going on with Google? And then the millennial, everybody's going to blow up.
Yeah.
It's just progress. It's progress. It's, it's not going to change.
CDs took over tapes, and
it's not going to change.
now
It's here.
a thumb drive, and
And I hate not having a CD.
I do.
I like having a CD
because number one, I'm at that show. I'm supporting that artist. That can pay for his fuel. That can pay for this. I want their T-shirts. I want their CDs. No, like Spotify. Most people have their own list they listen to. I don't. I've never had it. I ain't got time to sit there and do all this stuff. I'd rather have a CD, flip it in there, and listen to it over and over and over again. Matter of fact, the last CD I got, Tracy Lawrence gave to me.
Oh,
that's the last one. That last one I got.
Oh.
That's been a couple years ago.
I used to say when 10 years ago when CDs were out, I would say to people, I'd say, come in the studio, spend $10,000, $20,000, whatever it's going to cost to make your record, and then go out, make some CDs, and sell them.
yeah,
If you can't sell 5,000 CDs out of the trunk of your car, make
You're in the wrong
$50,000 back, and double your money, and
You're in
come
the
back
wrong
and make
game.
another, why would you think a record label's going to do it?
you're in the wrong game.
If you can't sell them yourself, you can't expect the label to go, oh, let me put $1 million into you. It's not going to happen.
I'll tell you, when I cut the second record, Unwanted Man, and even with the It Is What It Is, Scotty, we had a ton of CDs.
The two-tone cuts. Yeah.
Yes.
It is what Tommy two-tone.
Right. And I didn't sell a lot of them. I didn't try to sell a lot of them. I gave a lot of them away because, quite honestly, nobody knew who I was yet in Nashville.
It was great advertising. I thought you were crazy at first, and I went, oh, boy, this is something different.
But, when I started coming back to Broadway and seeing Collier all the time and all this stuff, people would come up to me and go, hey, man, that CD, gee, just crime and netley, man.
Yeah.
And, well, thank you. That's great. Hey, my sister needs one, but,
Right.
And then, sales started to pick up. And with Unwanted Man, I wrote off, 5,000 CDs
Right.
and then
Demos.
sold another 5,000, ordered another 5,000. But that's where, if people don't know who you are, it's like a circus carny, like we talk about, coming up to you going, hey, man, you really got to hear this CD.
I can't wait to talk about the circus carnies.
Yeah, I know.
Let's take a break, you guys, and come back. Let's get into circus carnies because both of you, as an investor and an artist, have dealt with them.
Oh, yeah, we have.
You're tuned in to Drop Me Off in Nashville with Sebastian and Scott. I think they've been dropped off at a few Nashville bars themselves. Are you a TV producer or camera crew ready to capture the heart and hustle of Music City? Then we got your next hit TV reality show.
Introducing Drop Me Off in Nashville, the reality series where country dreamers chase stardom, heartbreak meets dead ends, and every neon sign has its own story.
We're calling all Nashville filmmakers, videographers, and crews to help bring this story to life. From Ryman Alley to Broadway nights, this is where the fans meet the future stars.
Think Southern Charms meets ABC's Nashville. But real, raw, emotional. A self-contained docu-series.
Want to get behind the camera and shoot the next breakout series? Reach out now at dropmeoffinnashville.com and let's make TV magic, y'all. Drop Me Off in Nashville, where the dreamers and the fans connect in reality.
I like what you're doing.
Speaking of
we're
circus
live
carnies,
already,
yeah. Speaking of circus carnies,
Circus carnies, I love it.
you know what? We give monikers to a lot of people because we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want nobody to think that we're talking about them, even though we are.
Right.
And it's a nicer way to call them a circus carny than it is to call them a thief and what's the line yours? They're thieves, they're liars.
No, there's liars, beggars, cheaters, and thieves, and those are just the nice guys on
in
Broadway.
Nashville. Those are the nice guys.
That's right.
So these guys down here, they're going to tell you that you're going to be on every chart. start. They're going to bring you number one. They're going to put you on the radio. They're going to marry your mother.
You had to hear some of these cats.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm in the oil field business. So in the oil field business, people physically steal things. They take your motors. They take your oil. They steal stuff. Nashville, they steal your thoughts.
Yep.
It's completely different. They steal your thoughts. I mean, if you're planning on doing something, you can't say nothing because they'll all go out and do it. I mean, Nashville is full of more sharks there's more sharks in Nashville than they do in the ocean.
Agreed.
People preying on, like it's happened so many times. You got some kid that comes to town that's sad. They got $30,000 grandma gave them. They're going to produce this album. They're going to get an apartment. They run to some guy downtown. You got $30,000. I'll tell you what, $30,000. Tell you what, I can cut a demo for you $30,000, and I'll take it over here to the Music Row and give it to so and so. Well, they give them that $30,000. Next thing you know, they're sleeping in their car.
That's exactly right.
They're waiting tables doing this and that. They never get their $30,000 back. And they never see the guy again. And the bad thing about Nashville, there's actually people who were. This is terrible. People that actually had hit number one songs. People that were touring artists that are doing that to people now. They're in their older age and they're taking money from these people. I mean, I know 3 of them right now just took close to $300,000 from little individual people, from their grandmas, their moms and dads, taking their money.
Oh my
produce
Lord!
This album and they just walk. Like you take Clay Airy. Clay Airy. I've been working with him 5 years. And how I met him was through a shark. A guy had him sign this contract.
I remember this.
Yeah, this contract, you've never, ever seen this contract before. And shame on the attorney who's well known in Nashville to even write this contract. The contract said, you can never leave me and I'll decide if I'll let you go. And went on forever. And
forever?
Yeah, forever. It's written in the contract. And Clay didn't have no money, but so we ended up spending close to $20,000 trying to get rid of this daggum contract.
Oh.
And yeah, we spent close to $20,000. The guy got him blackballed from a casino because he got hired at a casino to sing. Well, rather than singing at the casino, the guy set up all this stuff for a video, wouldn't let nobody on the dance floor. So then he got blackballed. And then
believe this?
So I met him through the shark. So then he called me like 2 or 3 times, and I said, well, I can't really work with you, do anything with you, because I met you through another guy. It's not right. It's not right. But then I got to seeing the writing on the wall. So you know what? So me and him went ate supper one night, and I'm driving off, and he passes me. And I think, this guy's going down the road. It's hotter than hell outside. He's got a Suburban, don't have air conditioning. I said, you know what? Screw that shark. We'll teach him a lesson.
That's right.
So we're $250,000 later, and still going at it. And sooner or later, it may not be this year or next year, Clay Airy is going to be a big star.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
I can't believe someone did that to him like that.
It happens every time.
I mean, yeah, I can believe it.
You can believe it.
Yeah, I can believe it.
And Nashville's full of that. I mean, it happens every single day. And
yeah, it does.
So new artists coming to town, listen, we're teaching you something very important. This isn't grandma. This isn't your mom and dad or your uncle or your best friends that you see every Saturday down at the local bar and you're singing.
No.
When you get to town, it's you against the world. I call you a very small minnow in a big, huge ocean.
So I used to hang out at Losers a lot, and I used to watch this. If a new guy come to town, all the sharks hang out there they'd all be like, got one.
I can smell it. Yeah.
They'd all travel over this guy. Next thing you know, one guy one night, I stopped him from doing it. There's a well-known songwriter. Asked him how much money he had. He goes, I got $15,000. I'll tell you what. He goes, $15,000. I'll cut you 2 demos. And I got this number one song on the radio. And he goes, I'll take you to so and so and so and so. And the guy walked off and said, look, here's my number. Call me. Don't do anything to this guy. Don't do anything till you call me. Next day he called me. He's like, what do you want me to do? I said, $15,000, you can make an album. You can make yourself 1,000 CDs and sell them for $10 on the stage and pay your rent and support yourself. Do not give this guy any money. Well, this guy's got a number one hit song.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I said, it don't matter. I said, you got to live. I said, if you give him your $15,000, how much longer can you live in Nashville, Tennessee? Because I'm out of money. I said, don't give it to him. I said, do it a little at a time. So I introduced him to, as a matter of fact, at that time, I had a deal going where it's $9,000 what I charge an artist.
Yeah.
And that gave him a photo shoot, a video, 6 songs, and 1,000 CDs. And I say, well, we can't afford $9,000, so I'm going to give you 1,000 CDs, and you're going to pay yourself back. You sell these for $10, you give some away.
That was my advice.
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah. And also included 500 8x10s. I said, sign these, sell them for $5. You get 100% of your money back.
Get your money back.
Do this. And that's what I've done with the guy. You know what? He's on a stage on Tootsie's. He's been there since 2008 or 9, 6 figures.
Well,
working every single day.
But that's how it works. Yeah. That's how it should work.
Don't listen to them.
If they tell you they're going to put you on a chart, let me explain this to you real quick in a short story while I'm awake. There isn't a chart.
It don't matter.
It's something they created on an internet, and it doesn't matter what it is.
Billboard, media based.
It doesn't matter. It just isn't going to matter. And the magic number to watch out for is about like $4,500.
Yeah.
Look
you
out
know
for
what I
that
do?
one.
Yeah, what?
$1,500. Set up a website for you, $2,500.
$1,500 is a good one. Yeah,
it is.
Like something Bobby Bones said. And I'm shocked he still even have his job. He said the way that the charts work these days is This guy calls this guy, hey, you got the number one last week. He goes, let my guy have one this week.
Yeah, no, he's right.
And that's exactly
how it works.
I'm surprised you get fired. That is exactly how it works. You tell me today.
But God bless Bobby for saying that. I mean, think about it. He's telling truth, and he's right.
Yeah,
you tell me today how many people pick up their phone and call the radio station and request a song? Nobody. So who? The program directors is the one who makes them.
Yes.
They're the ones that puts it in their lineup. It's not grandma sitting over here trying to win that $98 from 98.1 FM.
Right.
It's not her calling in.
Right.
It's somebody sitting in an executive office, call the guy over here and say, look, last week was Michael Ray. This week's my guy.
Right.
And guess what? That week is my guy. And if you listen to radio, 7 or 8 songs, they're always the same. Same 7 or 8. And I don't listen to radio anymore. I get sick and tired.
I can't take it.
And another thing, when I do listen to radio, I have to have that Shazam because I don't know who's who because they all sound the same. You get all these cookie cutters.
Yeah, I can't.
Guys, listen, I have an artist on top 13 Billboard right now that I'm managing. I can't tell you another song on the radio or who's on it. I don't want to know. You want to know why? Because I was told long ago, if you try to copy what's on the radio, you're already 6 months behind.
Well, yeah, and when you say cookie cutter, it is. I don't turn on the radio anymore because when I did, they all sounded exactly alike.
All of them. You got your Brantley Gilbert. Everybody
all
copied Brantley Gilbert. Everybody is the same. So I have to say, who's this? If the radio don't tell me who it is, I don't have a clue who's singing.
And if you say girl one more time in a song, I'm going to jump in a truck. And I'm going to come down there and slap you like a redheaded
girl,
stepchild.
truck, beer.
Girl, truck, beer, tractor. Oh, shut up.
I mean, but think about it. When those did come out, the best sang them and sold them perfectly.
Yeah,
now
of course.
everything is just a copy.
It's all been done already.
It's done.
I mean, the dog can't die again. Stop.
The dog can't die again. Okay, so we got to do 2 things. Number one, tell me Sebastian, tell me your very favorite place to go in Nashville. Where is it?
Tootsie's.
Randy?
Well, Music City, though.
Well, Tootsie's used to be my favorite place because it's got so commercial and the parking issues and the crowds and you can't blame drinks are too high downtown, but you can't blame them when you're paying $10 million in property tax because the city's crazy and you're paying 25% in sales tax. I mean, you can't blame Tootsie's. It's too expensive. The parking's too expensive. My favorite place in the world is Music City Bar and Grill. And the reason I like Music City Bar and Grill, I can go in there, be sitting, and Zach Top will come to the back door and play pool. Mark Wills will get up and sing. Larry Morgan's come in. You got Rhonda Vinson's a regular. Daryl Worley's there every Thursday. I mean, it don't cost a park.
A month ago, Randy and I were there, and Loretta Lynn's family came in, and Randy ran it. I didn't feel it was my place, so I stayed away. But Randy, whenever said a nice long conversation with the family, but he knows the family. He's been friends for a while.
We've been going to Music City since the first time we went down there.
Back in the
Music City Bar. It's in the Valley, you guys. Check it out. It's an amazing little bar. If you want to hear some real country music, it's Music City Bar and Grill. They're not paying us to do anything because it's just our cold hard truth.
And by the way, anything you hear that sounds like advertisement.
We're not advertising. We don't get paid.
No,
I don't want to get paid.
No, this is called.
Then you can tell me what to do.
It's called co-branding, people, and one back scratches another, and it just
works better.
It's just how it works.
It's like how we found this studio here in Newport Richey, Florida, where we're recording actually this week. This guy, Mark, has the best place I've ever been in. The hospitality here is amazing. Anybody that's down in Florida and wants to do some kind of record, we'll put the link up on our website. You got to check him out. He's amazing.
Howdy! I was glad you here, though. There's these 2 fellas running all over Nashville causing a ruckus. I think their names are Sebastian and Scott. They kind of cute, though.
3.
Your guitar isn't just an instrument, it's your voice, your soul, your weapon. So don't let it dull out. Bring it to life with Doc Simon's Miracle Guitar Polish, the premium 4-ounce organic formula that restores, protects, and ignites your finish with a stage-ready shine. Safe for every guitar finish and fine wooden instrument. Zero junk, all tone. Whether you're shredding solos or strumming stories, this polish delivers pro-level results every time. Make your guitar look as good as it sounds. Doc Simon's Miracle Guitar Polish. Your secret weapon for shine, tone, and total respect. Get yours now at SlamoCustomGuitars.com. That's SLAMO CustomGuitars.com.
Yeah, that Music City Bar then is where is it? It's on Gulf Drive and
It's right across the road from the ocean. What's it called? Reddington Bay?
Reddington Beach.
Reddington Beach.
Yeah. It's a liquor store. There's a nail shop and some restaurant been there 30-some years. Matter of fact, the bar had been open for 27 years when they decided to quit.
Wow.
When the hurricane came.
Are you leaving it blue? There's a picture of blue.
Rodney wants to paint it just like Music City Bar and Grill to give him permission. He wants to paint it with the black out there, the Music City sign. And then he wants, it's really cool what he thought about last night. It says liquor and it says bar. Take those signs, put them on the back of the building. Because of the road behind it.
I love that
idea. Rodney's one of the smartest guys you ever meet. I mean, look what he did in Music City Bar and Grill. You know what Music City Bar did?
Unbelievable.
Do you know what Music City Bar did last year? $2.2 million.
Doesn't surprise me.
And he had an offer on the good. He goes, this guy made me an offer. He goes, I wouldn't have to work in the rest of my life. But guess what? He goes, I wouldn't have no fun. I wouldn't enjoy it.
Right?
And so then
the atmosphere in there. It's double the size.
Hey, that's where I met little Jimmy Dickens, and we talked I would drive to Nashville or fly to Nashville just to visit with Jimmy in the afternoon and have his glass of wine with him, and he
smoke his cigarette,
and that's it.
Yeah,
and then he went and did his show at the Grand Ole Opry.
They have a whole homage to him now there.
I just love him.
They put his name. They carved his name in the bar.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be the same way down here. Speaking of meeting, here's the first time I met you. And I'd known Scott. And Scott had told me you'd done this song with Lori Morgan. I didn't know who you was, but we ended up meeting at John A's. And we're sitting there, and you're wearing a pair of flip-flops. Some kind of sandals. We're eating together, and Ronnie Stallman's playing her fiddle, and she's walking around. She comes to
you. You were there with that,
yeah. And she says, she looks at your feet, and she says, "My dad taught me how to read feet."
You're a singer,
and then she walks off, and me and you both were like, "What did she say?"
Yes,
we didn't know what she said. So a week later, I run into her. I said, "Stoney, Ronnie, I said, we were sitting there, and you told me your dad taught you how to read feet." And she was, "I just teasing that guy." We're sitting there thinking, like, what'd you learn? What she's not going to tell us what she read?
Oh, my God.
I remember one time, John, she said, she goes, you're teasing her, you guys are cutting up, and she says, you better be careful, or I'm going to put you over on your paper. How did that story go? Remember, she was goofing on something about child support? She was so witty.
Oh,
Ronnie
no,
Stallman.
yeah. She told me I ordered child support.
Let's stop for a minute. Ronnie Stallman was on Hee Haw. She was the iron board lady. The lady that would beat up her husband and stuff. She was, and we became friends with her in Nashville. And rest her soul, God bless her. She was the nicest and the sweetest, and boy, the wit on her was crazy. What did she say to you about child support and then go put you on your paper or something?
Well, she asked if I would take her home, and I said, "You bet I will." She said, "You better calm down. I'll put you on your paper over there," because she needed a ride home, and I drove her home. But it was. Remember
when you got her that diamond? That diamond for the record player, the diamond needle.
Yes, Ronnie has an old Victrola, and I'm talking really, really old. Actually, her grandfather worked with Edison.
Yeah,
the cylinder.
And so the first, it's a cylinder. It looks like a toilet paper roll of recording of the old walking cane, and she has it in a shoebox wrapped in toilet paper. And she brought out this Victrola, and she played it. She had to hold the horn on it.
The horn was on
to make it play.
Right.
And I was like, my God, I'm listening to history, and I don't even know what I'm hearing right now at all. I mean, I want to appreciate it. What the hell am I listening to? Right. Well, my granddad worked with Thomas Edison. I said, what?
What?
I know who that is.
Right.
Right?
And they done. She's from like Bristol, Tennessee, or something. They actually done the very first recording.
Yeah, that
was with that cylinder.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and she showed it to me and told me about it. And something else she told me is real funny too. I said, Ronnie just got married. And she said, well, that's a big mistake. She says, I've been married 10 times. But she goes, it's got to the point I'm just comfortable in a wedding dress.
I love her.
Rest in peace, Ronnie.
Oh, God, I love her.
What a sweetie.
Oh, my
Can you
God.
believe how wonderful she was?
Yes.
Every time. She was never rude. She was just so
one time
sweet.
we were at John A's.
I love John A's.
I love John A's.
And she comes over to my table.
It's a liquor store
with
now.
with the frickin' banjo. And she goes, come on, let's go outside. You and me are going to make music. All right. I go, who am I to say no to Ronnie flipping Stallman, right? So
exactly.
We end up outside in the back where I like to smoke anyway, and she knows that. So I'm out in the back, and she pulls out this 85-pound banjo. For the love of God, it's heavy. And she starts playing House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah, watch this.
I'm like, oh, my God. She says, honey, I think we need to go in the studio with this. And she starts picking it. And I went, oh, dear God. She knows rock and roll? What?
You guys, I literally record Hee Haw on my TV so I can watch Ronnie Stallman. I love that woman.
There's something wrong with
her.
her.
How can you not like Hee Haw?
Oh, I know.
Come on. I know the younger guys you probably don't know, but it was like this comedy skit show that they'd have all these different singers and artists would come on and they do these skits and it went on for years, like 14, 15 years.
Oh my God, they had a lot of them, yeah.
Huge.
Oh, you know, when I was a kid, how I got into country music was my mom was a country music fan. She had those country weekly magazines stacked up a mile high. She chased down Ernest Tubb one time on the highway to get his autograph. But my cousin owned the Ken Lance Sports Arena in Ada, Oklahoma. So he had Hank Jr., he had Mo and Joe. So we'd go down. That's our summer vacation. We'd drive 115 miles. We stay there 2 or 3 weeks. Go to the rodeos every weekend.
Wow.
Matter of fact, Toby Keith used to work for my family. In the
now that'd
business.
be fun.
Oh, we had a blast.
Oh, you used to have dinner or lunch and breakfast with Toby.
It's really weird.
A friend of yours, like a friend.
Yeah, Toby was a friend of mine 3 years ago. Before he even announced he had cancer, was in February, and so I walked in his little restaurant. He's there, and first thing he just calls me over. We sit down. We talk an hour and a half. Never talked about music. Never talked about nothing. We never talked about music until we go over to the fountain drink. I'm fixing to leave, and he said, "Well, you still married to Ashton Shepherd?" I said, "Yeah." "You still got the buses?" "Yeah." We talked just a few minutes. When I left, though, my sister. He stayed at our house several times when he's like 15, 16 years old. So I called my sister Sue, and I said, "Sue," I just ate lunch with Toby. I said, "Something about him ain't right." I said, "He's gray in the face." I said, "I think he might have liver cancer and lung cancer. Something ain't right with him." 1 month later, he announced on Instagram that he had stomach cancer.
Oh,
and when everybody's going to die. But when Toby Keith died, Oklahoma, it was a sad day. It was a sad week. Every single body was sad. I remember when Elvis died, I was in Walmart in 1978 or 79. And the manager announces on the radio, on the speaker, Elvis Presley just passed away. There's people crying.
Oh, yeah.
Their shopping carts, the same way Toby was.
I had 2 stories about Toby. Number one, I was at Losers. He was behind the bar in the corner, and I sat there, and I didn't treat him like a star, even though I was
flabbergasted. Yeah.
He was drinking a beer, and I just kind of stood there, and I wasn't bothering him, and he was visiting, and he kept looking at me, but he wouldn't say nothing. But I didn't bother him. I wasn't like, "Oh, Toby Keith." I just let him be him. And about 5-6 minutes into it, he looks over at me and goes, "Yeah, you need a beer?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll take a beer." And he grabs me a beer, and we just started visiting about nothing. And it was like I was his best friend in the whole wide world. Like
I just love it when that happens.
He didn't know me. I didn't know him. I didn't ask him for an autograph. I didn't ask for a picture.
Licking boots.
But it is in my head, and I'm never going to forget it.
Yeah.
And then Mel Tillis had a party. Something happened with Mel Tillis, and they had this private thing going on at the stage, and I was invited. And Toby Keith was there, and I'll never forget it. Then he walked up next to me, and we were walking on, and I said something to him, and I was a little more starstruck at the time, but he put his hand on the back of my neck and squeezed it like your grandpa would did. He goes, "I'm glad to have you as a fan," or something like that. It was just something really sweet.
Yeah.
But that's when you know the guys who get it, and then the people who just don't get it. They don't realize what a gift that they have, that they made it in the music industry.
And it's so apparent. It
sticks out like a sore thumb when you don't treat people that.
It's 3D.
Yeah, it's 3D.
I always tell artists I work with, even my friends, I tell them, I say, if we walk into a bar and you see an artist, don't go up to him, "I love your song," don't ask for an autograph. Accidentally talk to him. Like saying, talk about Blake Shelton. He's been getting all that rain. You can talk about, "Hey, how's your wheat doing? How's your rye doing?"
That's right.
And they'll talk to you every time they see you. You go up and you gurm them.
Yeah.
You want the autograph, you're wanting the fan, they ignore you. So the best thing is exactly how you do. You sit there, ignore them, and let them approach you, and then you got a friend for life.
And that's why we went to John A's.
Yeah.
I love John A's.
Pardon me.
I went to John A's multiple things. Number one, the twice baked potato.
Oh.
And
they had real chefs there, didn't they?
Real food. They had the best pasta I've ever eaten in my life.
And that cocktail shrimp.
Oh, geez, you got that every time, Bash.
And then they took it. First of all, after he passed away, they turned it in some, I don't know what it was, some New York style restaurant. Go and they have like little designs on it.
That didn't last.
That didn't last none at all.
No.
Now it's a liquor store.
It's a liquor store.
Kind of like Nashville Palace.
I keep telling you, Bash. I said, well, next time I go up, you got to come with, because you got to see everything that's so different.
And see, Nashville Palace is not the same. Nashville Palace, when I first went there, was on the corner. And
remember the foosball table was in there in the Nashville Palace?
Remember,
that's where Randy Travis started.
Now you walk in, that's where John A's friends would be.
Right.
And the very first time I went in there was Rodney's hero, Vern Gosden. So Vern Gosden, and he just had a stroke, and he come to my table. He's playing with this little tape measure, going back and forth. He's drooling, almost gets in my food. He'll suck it back. I'm like, oh shit! And then he's going to sing. He's going to get up and sing. I thought, oh, this could be a train wreck.
Yeah,
this guy can't talk. He's had this stroke. He got up on stage, had done that fine dance ass, just like nothing ever happened.
Yeah,
perfect. Get off stage. He's back to what he was.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Ozzy did that for a long time too. He couldn't make a fried egg by himself.
Hey, met our friend Terry Nails and
Yeah.
Ozzy. We're going to talk about him in an episode. We have a good friend that worked for Ozzy Osbourne for many years. I can't wait to talk
He's a
about
bass
Terry.
player,
Nails.
yeah.
Terry is a gem. Hey, let's wrap this up. Let's get Randy out of here. He gave us a gracious amount of his time. His family's here with him on vacation.
Yeah, no, now we're going to go hang out.
Yeah, let's go hang out. And
You can't just tease me, make me go to work.
No, we got to have at least a beer
They
with him
wouldn't
or
let us back in
something.
the studio. We're going to a bar.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well.
Wait out. Mama's here. The house. Mama's in the house.
Designated driver.
Yeah, but the wife is here. Say hello, Mama.
Oh, actually, I bought me a new designated driver. I bought me a Cadillac that self-drives. We'll try it out.
See how red she
Of
just
course
got?
you did.
Listen, y'all, it's been a great time.
Yeah,
having
Randy,
you.
thank you so much for
And
taking
Randy,
the time
I love
for
you.
us.
Well, we're going to hang out
again.
for real now, see?
Yeah, good to
Thanks,
have
brother.
everybody. Thanks for everybody for coming and listening to us tonight. And next Wednesday, we'll put another one up. What
It
do you
could
say?
be this morning. You don't know.
Hey, do I bring another guest or no?
When?
Next week. Nah, let's
Well,
You know
let's just find out.
find out.
All right.
Thanks for joining Sebastian and Scott. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join the Drop Me Off in Nashville family. Engineering and production provided by Podcast Production Music.
Well, Nashville, can't thank you enough for all the time.
Y'all come back now. Here?